Hey there, welcome back. I wanted to update you on the progress that I made or the feedback from my 7-day fast that I had completed last week on Thursday. Um, let's see. Okay, I thought when I ended the fast, I didn't understand why I was just so exhausted. I figured it had a lot to do with detoxing, obviously, but I felt like I couldn't. The the days for things to get better seemed like they were becoming smaller and smaller and impossible to reach. So I went ahead and ended it at 7 days, pat myself on the back because I had never gone that far before. Normally it was, the one other time many years ago, it was just 3 days. So I lasted 7 days. I started eating. When I started refeeding, I didn't have any problems with anything that I ate. Uh, the amount I ate, the timing, or what it was. The only thing that I've learned since then is that what I did choose to eat took me out of ketosis. So that would explain why I gained back almost 7 pounds in 5 days. I knew I would gain some weight back by eating again, but now I understand that it didn't have to be that much that quickly if I had chosen made some different selections on foods to refeed on, particularly if I would have remained with something that was low carb, high fat, moderate protein. But at least that's my take on what I think I would have been a little bit more successful with not gaining back as much that quickly. Everyone's different, so that's just what I'm thinking. So what I did was by day, that was on Thursday, I started refeeding. And then by Sunday evening, I started feeling like, it depends on how I feel that Monday morning, that I'd be ready to start exercising again. And sure enough, I felt strong enough on Monday to start exercising. I didn't exercise this morning because it just felt like, I'll give myself a break, a day off. But I've been doing really good. Like I said, I stopped losing or gaining weight at 140. I got down to 133, and this morning I'm at 139, and yeah, 139. So it's coming off slower, which is fine because you can't sustain losing 2 and 3 pounds every day forever. That wasn't designed to be forever. I just wanted to get a deep cleanse and get into some scar tissue and certainly some toxins that are in some fat cells that were in there or in my body, some mucus, some parasites, if we can get to any of those bad boys and get them out, inflammation, break my sugar craving. So those are some things that I wanted to dig deeper in. That's why I elected to do a water fast, which is one of the most toughest ones. I guess the average person would probably agree to that. And it's the one that gets deeper faster. But I have learned not everyone could water fast. You have to have a certain level of healthiness about yourself to water fast, and definitely uh, if it's going to be that serious for you, probably you should be in an environment where you can be monitored by medical folks that know better, or holistic people or persons that would know how to monitor you and take blood work or what have you. So I didn't have that, but I did know that I knew how to tap out. That I knew how to do. so, um, so let's see. Okay, so now we talked about day 5. Is when I stopped. I managed to stop the weight gain, and so I leveled off at 140. I began at 150. I leveled off at 140. Now I'm at 139. I've started exercising 3 days ago. And what I drink in the morning is it's called a vegan bullet coffee. And I also practice intermittent fasting. So what I'm doing is basically anywhere from 12 to, so far it's been up to 20 hours of water fasting. And then I'll have a feeding window of anywhere from Well, 12 hours is quite a bit much. I've gotten it down smaller than that. In fact, I'm down to 4 and 5 hours of feeding window. And then after that, then I'm back to my intermittent fast. And this is great because I needed this. I was horrible with eating right until it was time to lay my head on a pillow. I mean, a full on meal or snacking on something. And even in the middle of the night when I would get up, it was very, I was famous for getting something else to eat or seeing some food at my nightstand and grab some nuts or grab some dry sugary cereal if that was the bad habit that I was into at the time. I ate it. And for me, I felt like I needed that to be able to go to sleep and get a good night's sleep and stay asleep. But I wasn't staying asleep. I still had very disturbed sleep, but that was just a horrible habit that I created for myself and had that for years. So I had to break that. The water fast, there's no way that I could have imagined just doing that and thinking that my focus is on weight loss and maybe clearing up some issues that are in my body that I wanted to get corrected. It definitely was mental, it was spiritual, because I had to call on my Lord Jesus Christ. Lord knows I did, to give me strength and to get me through and to keep me focused and to just and give me the discernment and wisdom to know when this is good enough, and take baby steps. Um, Rome wasn't built in a day, so that I appreciate that time and the clarity that I got in that way. I appreciated. I mentioned earlier that my hearing, it seemed like it was more acute. I was certain noises. It's still kind of that way now, but I think with me being away from that challenge and that of being in a water fast and being focused like that, it's like almost like I was on an island on my own and away from all kinds of worldly distractions. And now I'm back. I'm back at home, back in America, and back to where the television is playing, and a lot of distractions on TV, and having conversations that necessarily aren't very peaceful conversations, but maybe kind of lean towards the gossipy side. So that's why I want to make sure that fasting is something that I keep in my toolbox. I want to continue to work on mastery, and truly make it a lifestyle, because I do. For me, endurance, being an endurance athlete, was gave me that what I needed, that spiritual connection to my Father, and to run a marathon. And I ran a couple of marathons, one on a treadmill and one in the Fort Worth Cowtown. And I've done a couple of century rides on my road bicycle. And during events like that, where it's just it's all about your left foot, your right foot, your pedaling, your focus, your fueling, and your strength, and tapping into something that you had no idea you had more to tap into. Uh, excuse me. Those are things that I enjoyed doing, because it took me a place that I couldn't just sit at a table or in a chair and just dream about and watch other people while I eat and entertain with them or off of them. So that's this is what I've gotten out of the water fast, extended fasting. So I look forward to being able to tap into that and see what I can learn about myself and dig up and dive into and clear out. So that's what my takeaway on that. And let's see. I mentioned the bullet. I think I mentioned the vegan bullet coffee. I'll get into another separate video on that and go into detail about that. But just pin that thought about vegan bullet coffee, because that's what I drink every day, every morning. That's a part of my intermittent fasting and will be a part of my extended fasts when I work those in again. And I drink distilled water, and I have some discoveries of some minerals and that I'm putting into my distilled water. I'll make that another video, pin that one. That will be up and coming. And real quick, my lab results. I thought that after my fast was over, I had concluded on my own that maybe I had put myself in in anemic state, because have been battling with anemia for many years, well over a decade. And so I thought that maybe that was it. But come to find out, I wasn't anemic. This lab results that I had taken these on my 5th day of my water fast. So I was definitely deep into ketosis. I was more than 3%. That's what it says on here. And my glucose was below average. And the nurse, at first, she was a little alarmed, wondering why were my numbers like that. And she assumed that I'd only done the 8-hour fast. But I explained to her I had been fasting for 5 days. And so she understood then, well, I see why your numbers are off. Those numbers are like that because the extended water fast. But my cholesterol was fantastic. Uh, all this stuff that they test you on, hemoglobin and all this stuff that they test you on. So I got all kinds of green lights up and down these papers. So thank God for that. Let's see. Like I said, I'm doing intermittent fasting. That's what I'm doing now. And I'm learning more about it. And so now, I guess if you want to throw out a label to compartmentalize what's going on, I'm practicing IF, intermittent fasting, keto vegan. So I'm back to vegan again. And my meals, most of it, I'm focusing on a lot of it being raw still. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm still working on the cleansing part. There's a few more pounds I want to get off and get back to my normal weight, which will be around 133-ish, somewhere like that. I said 137 was my goal, but now 137 is actually, I mean, it's right there. I'm only a couple of pounds off from there. So I want to dig a little bit deeper and then play around with, so I have room to play with 133, 135, whatever. So, so for now, that's what's going on. And I know I won't be keto vegan forever. For right now, it is a part of a stepping stool or stone that I'm using right now to get to where I want to be. And then I'll continue with vegan and incorporating more carbs. And if I see that I'm creating too many bad habits or too many cravings and things are getting a little off a bit, then I know that I can fall back on, the keto vegan. But more to come on that. I don't have that ironed out. That's just something that I'm learning each day and learning about me. I'm not counting calories necessarily. I'm not counting macros. I am paying attention to fat content and protein and knowing that I'm eating lots of high water fruit or vegetables. I don't get to eat very much fruit. So that's the reason why I know I'm not going to stay keto vegan forever, because I love all kinds of fruit. And but for right now, like I said, I'm on a mission, so we can go ahead and pause on 99% of those fruit for now. So, all right, thank you for coming back. I'm going to make another video probably right after this and talk about my mother. Some folks have asked me to talk about her a little bit more, about her experience being a health guru, foodie, with her fasting and things like that. So she gave me a few things that I can share with you. But if I'm real lucky, I can get her back on the phone and then I can have her on loudspeaker and I can interview her live and direct that way. And you can hear it right from her mouth. So to your ears. So let's hope that she wants to play. So, all right then. Thanks, you guys. And I'll see you in a couple of minutes, hopefully. So peace.